Good morning, everybody. It is August 21st, 2018, and it is time for a new episode of Breaking Bread with Ben Grimm. Bow! But before I get into anything else, you know what I need to let you know? And that one thing is, this episode of the podcast is brought to you by the DeMcKelly's Barbershop and Emporium, located at 6 Kirby Road in Cromwell, Connecticut, exit 21 off of I-91. DeMcKelly's specializes in all types of men's haircuts and hot shaves. Appointments and walk-ins available for full schedule. Check the website, DeMcKelly'sBarbershop.com, or call 860-502-3540. Gift cards are available in any denomination, and they also offer my personal favorite, their own water-soluble pomade. So go get a fresh cut, a clean shave, and an awesome product, and tell them Ben sent you. DeMcKelly's Barbershop and Emporium, responsible barbering. Located within the barbershop is Cafe Vernazza. Cafe Vernazza offers all organic brewed sheer water roasters coffee and espresso. Cafe Vernazza offers gelato, frappes, and rotating homemade specialty drinks and authentic Italian pastries. They got a lot of other things. Just went there this past Saturday to get half my beard cut off because I was looking like a crazy person. Yeah, hit them up. Let them know where you from. Let them know where you going. It ain't meaning about shit. You just gotta get their hair clipped. Whoa, whoa. Let me see if I got a couple other things to tell y'all. There's actually a lot of things going on before the next podcast happens for you. But most of all, I would like to let everybody know about this Saturday, August 25th. I have a part in helping out facilitating this. The Parkville Block Party. Let's read it. What happens when the Parkville community gets together? We party with a purpose. Come out on the last Saturday of the summer to be surrounded by community creators, innovators, movers and shakers, and Hartford hopefuls as we celebrate the organic growth of Parkville. Over the last few years, we as a creative community have seen tremendous growth amongst ourselves, and now we want to connect, extend our branches, and link arms with communities around us who share the same vision for positive change in the city. Come partake in this free event. Experience art, music, food, and entertainment going on all day long, featuring all of your local favorites in one place. There's a, find it on Facebook. There's a, an invite event page, and you can see the schedule for the day. There's food trucks. There's going to be dessert at night. There's going to be Parkville sounds. There's going to be music. There's going to be live music. There's going to be drink. There's going to be grub. There's going to be art. I was put in charge of getting certain people to do some live art outside the venue during the whole day. Come through. It's family friendly, but you can also have a drink. It's a total block party. Come through. If you're familiar with the area, if you leave the No Good Market, go right, go left on Park Street. It's that next block, that whole 56 Arbor area where Tainted is. It's the backside of Real Artways. That whole place is going to be shut down. Like not shut down, but like, you'll have to park on the street and you get into that back lot, and it's just going to be a big party. So I really, 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 if you live in the Hartford area, I would really encourage all my listeners to go and support these women that are from Tainted that have pretty much facilitated the whole thing and reached out to a couple of us to help. Yeah, come on through. It'll be fun. What else? The Underwood After Party, that's an after party after that event on August 25th. Come out and celebrate, connect, and create. Yeah, it's all the same stuff there. It's an after party. I think there's going to be a little bit of rapping going on. And if you're not going to be able to make it to this area and you are stuck down in the New Haven area with no way to get to the Parkville Block Party, I would like you to all go to 3 Sheets in New Haven and watch my boy, friend of the podcast, Old Self. He gonna be rapping with Esh, Babies, and Dagwood at 3 Sheets, New Haven. That begins at 9. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got someone for you. I got someone for you. I got today my girl, Amla Mehta. She is a motivational speaker, and she has a degenerative condition. I don't even know what the fuck. I forgot to write down the exact word that is going on with her, but Her vision has been failing over the last couple of years, and she's pretty much only got a couple years left of this small, like 5% vision that she has. And in that time, she will be 100% completely blind. Amla speaks to all sorts of crowds, all sorts of ages. She's just an all-around motivational speaker. She's a beautiful, beautiful soul. The first day I met this woman, I was like, I need to have a deeper conversation with this lady, because the woman can't even see anything, and she just laughs in the face of life. She is a total sweetheart. She's so fucking awesome. And she does, she speaks to, people all around the state with disabilities and such other things. We had her on the podcast today. It's a little bit of your different, it's like, it's a little bit of the different kind of guest that I would have. I just wanted her to tell her story. She lives in the area, and, I just wanted everybody to know about what she goes through on a daily basis. Because if this woman is being faced with what she's facing and can walk through life with a fucking smile on her face 24 hours a day, that's something to be said. We talked for a good hour and a half. She blew my mind. She made me laugh. I almost cried at one point. Yup, I almost did. It's a very touching podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, Amla Mehta.
I break bread, 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 break
Ladies and gentlemen, I have my friend Amla Mehta here with us today. She is a motivational speaker and an inspiring author. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. And yourself?
I'm okay. I went to bed last night at like 11, and I wake up at like 3:45.
Same here. I woke up like 2 in the morning. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
No,
it wasn't a fun night.
It wasn't.
I know what I was doing?
What?
Up mixing a podcast like a dum-dum. Knowing I have to work the next fucking morning. So, we've brought you here today because I personally like you. And I like your story.
I like you too.
And I feel like we could, me and you, or I want you to tell everybody about your story.
Sure.
I think it's kind of powerful. I think it's very powerful. You are a motivational speaker. You are, I almost said certified blind. You are. What do they call it?
It's legally blind.
Legally blind. Duh.
Not legally blonde. I'm legally blind.
Yeah, no. So you're legally blind.
Yes.
I don't mean to laugh, but did you ever see that the YouTube video of the woman that was caught stealing, and then when the cops had her, she was like, "Leave me alone! I'm legally blind."
No. Really?
I'll send it to you. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Oh my
I actually
God.
made T-shirts about them. It was like a very viral YouTube video a couple years ago. It was very funny.
It's too funny.
So let's get into it.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about your backstory. And I know me and you met at like a small little community conversation thingy. And let's just talk about your background. Let me know the day-to-day about Amla Mehta, and let me know like what got you to this point.
What got me to this very, very deep question there?
Let's do it.
Okay, so my name is Amla Mehta, as you heard. I am from Connecticut. I was born and raised here, and back in 1990, Valentine's Day, I was 16 years old, and I went to the Boston Mass-Eye Ear Institute in Cambridge, Mass, and basically had testing all day. They do, they test your blood because of other reasons, because this is a genetic disorder, what I have. But I went to through a series of tests, which is like peripheral tests, where you're looking into a dome, and it's like kind of like a game of video game. I don't really play video games, but you have to beep anytime you see a light coming from the corner of your eye, so to speak. So with me not having peripheral vision, it'd be very close to the central point of the dome, which is where you're supposed to be looking.
Yep.
So I had that, and then I had colorblind tests, and then it's something called, it's kind of like the EKG, which is the objectively looking at your heart. This is called the ERG.
Okay.
Which, what's it called? What's my trying to say? It basically objectively scans my eye how I'm seeing through cords attached to the back of my eye.
Okay.
So that's very complicated, and so you're staring at this thing, and I don't know what even else to call it because you're in the dark, and it's not very fun, and you're there for like 45 minutes per eye.
Yeah.
And it's a big series. Anyway, so fast forwarding through all those tests. Since I was a minor, I was 16 years old. My doctor goes to my parents like, "Would you like me to tell you, and then we'll tell your daughter?" And then my parents like, "Yeah, sure. Please do so." So they found out about it, and then they called me in, and then I found out that it's something called gyrate atrophy, which is GYRATE atrophy, ATROPHY. So what is gyrate atrophy? Gyrate atrophy is a genetic disorder which causes blindness between the age of 45 and 60. And the majority of my peripheral vision is completely shot, so to speak. And the prognosis is that I'll be able to see the sun rising, the sun setting, but the periphery would be, when this occurs between 45 and 60, I'd see the size of a quarter.
Yeah, only right in front of you.
Exactly.
Straight ahead.
Exactly. And people
Okay.
think I actually see like that now because I don't know what I'm supposed to see. It's not like I'm looking literally in a kaleidoscope and there's
Like a
dark
tunnel.
around me. No, I see what I see, and that is it. But if I were to look at your nose right now,
Yep.
right, at the distance that I'm at right now, I know your audience can't see us, but the point is that from this distance, I see your shoulders and I see your face. I don't see anything below that. I see maybe your hand and I see your headphones, and that's it.
But nothing really to
No.
the right and left of me either, right?
Not really when I'm looking right at your nose.
Okay.
Being
Yeah.
objective.
And we're about the same height right now.
Right.
So
Exactly. And so you know what you see.
Yeah.
I just don't know the comparison because it's shot.
I
My
see a
vision is
beautiful Indian woman right in front of me.
That's too funny. Yeah. So, it was tough. It was a tough, what at age 16, you're supposed to be worrying about your bio test. And then here I am stuck with I'm going blind. That's the age you want to get your license too.
You had to grow up really fast.
Holy crow.
That's like a part of why I brought you on here, because I feel like
Yeah.
for what you're going through, you're a very bubbly and bright individual. And I know a lot of people that can see perfectly and they're really just hating life. And I know a lot of that kind of ideals those ideals are probably things you speak about with your motivational speaking,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
What kind of crowds do you speak to?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I speak to age 5 to 95. Everybody, because what I do is I base it on a topic. Like when I'm talking to 5-year-olds, there's no description, of course. I'm just showing how I see. So I actually take a paper towel roll and I say, look through there. And they're like, I say, do you see much? No, I don't. Okay, that's how I see. They're like, oh, wow. They're so into it. They're my favorite audience. They really are. They're so curious to know about me, and they just take me for what I am. They're all sponges.
Probably a lot sweeter.
They are a
than
lot.
your average
And
adult.
they have they're so smart. Some of the from 5 to 10-year-old, they're very smart. They just got it going on. They do.
Children have a lot of empathy too.
They do.
It's very weird.
Do.
It's
That's
funny.
true. And I think, and part of me is just that's why I'm a mentor too, is that, I tell these children, so what, you wear glasses? So what that, I don't know, you're Jewish or something. And, you celebrate Hanukkah and you wear whatever you wear. It doesn't matter, So I think it starts at a young age, of course. There is a poster out there. Everything I learned in kindergarten.
Yeah.
So absolutely, it starts there, and then, then your judgment comes into play, and then that kind of hinders and skews. It just completely blindsides you, and no pun intended.
The thing I like about you is you can laugh about the situation.
Yeah.
You make light of yourself. I've heard you do it a couple of times, and it's like that's probably like what drew me to ask you to come on here.
Thank you.
Because there's people that could be in your situation that are just really like, not that they don't have any reason to be,
Sure.
but they're feeling sorry for themselves and they're not really doing much.
Right.
You're making jokes. You're blind. You're making jokes, and you're out there in the community talking to other blind people about it.
Absolutely.
And that's just mind blowing.
Well,
That's great to me. I love that.
Well, I really do, but I can't stress this enough. This did not happen overnight, and
You've learned.
you have to 1 foot, 1 step at a time through anything. You want something in life, it's not going to happen overnight, and. For me, it's like, even despite the way I've been treated, I know my purpose is this, which is that I choose unconditional love for myself. And then I could shine it out to the world. That is my purpose. And I know I'm doing it now. And I know I could help so many more people, all walks of life, because we all struggle. We all have a challenge. Mine just happens to be physical. Big deal. You know, in a way, I mean, yeah, it was a big deal at age 16. It was a big deal at age 20 when I wanted to go to a party and I'm like looking kind of like I'm drunk. Kind of. It looked like I was drunk. My eyes just bugged out. And I mean, because I had no vision at night. Absolutely none. So, you know, people would be like, what the heck is up with this girl? You know, I don't get her. I don't understand, you know? And it's like, and it was like building up my confidence. It was always like I'd get up and then I feel like I'm smashed down again. Get up, smash down again. But so it is with life, you know, that's how you grow. That's how you learn through the ups and downs of life. And I'm living that every day. And it's, again, a choice. One of the things I love to stress, I love talking about the weather. And, you know, if it's a cloudy day, what are you going to do with that day?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it? It's up to you. You could just sit there and sulk, or you could just, you know,
Take advantage of
absolutely, water some plants inside and have a party. You know, like make your favorite brownies or something with the kids or with yourself. You know,
you got a very a glass half full mentality.
Yeah, I think it's actually, you know, it's funny that you said that. Actually, my headphones are falling off. Hold on. Okay. It's funny that you said that, but I think of it as life is the glass half full and half empty, right?
Some days are different.
Some days are different. So, like, if you look at it as the whole, talking about not having vision, right? I looked at the glass is half empty and it's half full. I am not going to weigh on one thing or the other. I am just going to look at it as is.
Let it come.
Let it come and let it pass, because this too shall pass too. Things come and go like the ocean wave.
My grandfather wanted that saying on his tombstone, this too shall pass. And since he was a veteran, there was only certain things that they would pay for to have put in the tombstone. And he had just had to get his name and his birthday and death date. So my brother got it tattooed on his arm for my grandfather.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's actually like an old school Alcoholics Anonymous quote, I believe.
Oh, is it really? I didn't know that.
Well, it probably goes a little bit before that, because that whole ideal is based in religion. So I bet you it's probably something religious. He was a very religious man.
Okay.
But yeah, this too shall pass. It's like, even if you're not religious, you could exercise that all day. You know
Well, even
mean?
like the breath, or I always talk about the heartbeat. Is your own heartbeat ever the same? It's not.
No.
Right. So it's good. And you just automatically not even thinking, you have faith that you're going to take your next breath. Period. That your heartbeat is going to keep on going, you know? So it's just, life is those little minuscule moments that are magical. And that's what I love talking about. It's like, I see everything now. Like I was in nature yesterday and I'm like, look at the way the sunlight is on the bark of the tree. And the person I was with was like, what
the fuck are you talking about? But you know it, and you're like, I'm appreciating this in the moment.
Yes.
Right here, and this is for me and not nobody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I teach people to look at life, and you could hear it from my voice and my spirit. like the eyes of a child. The eyes of a child.
Like
They're always
everything's new.
excited. Yes, everything is new.
I feel so desensitized because I rarely feel like inspired or like, ooh, look at this. This is something that I've never dealt with before, and I love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very far and few between. But when it does happen, it
Yes.
matters to me, and I remember it. But that's just got a lot to do with like being through a lot in your life.
Yes.
Being older.
Yes.
You know. So when those things do happen, like I get choked up.
Yeah.
Like I bought my 2.5-year-old niece a camera.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
My brother sent me the video of her opening it. And then sent me the picture of the first picture she took. I cried.
Oh.
I didn't like bawl my eyes out.
Sure, no, but
it
that's
was like one of
sweet.
those happy like tear came down.
Absolutely.
And nothing does that to me. That's like really one of the only instances her like where I'll get like that.
Oh.
Really, nothing else is kind of
precious.
It's probably the most precious thing I deal with on a daily basis.
That is the coolest thing. I love that story.
Because nothing else really does like that. I've been so like just like burnt.
Yeah.
Through the years, like nothing's gonna faze me today. Nothing's gonna impress me. You know what I mean? And
Right.
then I get into a situation like that, and I'm like, this is all new.
Yeah.
And she's part of the family. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it just makes it. I look forward to seeing her grow up.
Absolutely.
Where if I didn't have something like that in my life, I might be like a miserable prick.
Yeah.
But I'm not because I get to like see what's going on in her life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before you got here today, I was thinking,
Yes.
and the more podcasts and the more episodes I do think about like ethics and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hope like nobody hears this and thinks like I'm exploiting her disability and treating her like a commodity.
No.
Like, I'm going to have this blind person on, and I'm not going to exercise person first mentalities. Like, no. Like, do you ever feel like that? Like, people are just like, you obviously know about like person first language, and, you know, we talk about Alma and
Yes.
her disability,
Yes.
not the disability that rules Alma. And I don't think a lot of people understand that unless they work in the field or they have a disability like
Right.
yourself. Talk to me about that.
Can you roundabout say the question again, please? Just to
Person first language.
Okay.
Like, look at that disabled person.
Oh, okay.
We don't say that anymore.
Right.
It's look at the person with a disability because you're making that word bigger than the person, and it's kind of like degrading.
Right.
Degrading. It's kind of degrading, and like over the last few years in the vocational rehab sector,
Yeah.
and mental health.
Yeah.
That's what they are practicing now. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about
now I get it.
people talking like that?
Well, it's interesting because it's just like in the end, the ignorance that I've been through, it's just a label. It's their stuff. I really, really. If I shine my light, which I do, I own it.
Mm-hmm.
It's me. Whatever people want to label me as, the blind lady, the legally blind lady. I don't know what the difference is. Disabled. Can I say handicapped? Can I not say handicapped? You know what? I just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? It is what it is.
Yep.
I've come to a point in my life where it's not my job to instruct people like, look,
Yeah.
this is the way
You're not out
it
there
is.
being a stickler.
No,
yeah.
no. That's my own journey. Now I don't speak. It's not one size fits all for all blind people either. Of
Yeah.
course not, right? I happen to be legally blind. There are blind people who have never seen anything before, so you get my drift. But yeah, it's just a label. And as long as Amla, that's my message. As long as I know who I am, I'm going to shine my light brighter and brighter. And I have had that. People, because the vulnerability of the blindness, that's all they have as ammunition towards me. I felt it. It's like, we're going to slam her down because I don't like her light. She's too bright for me. I've actually had somebody tell me, oh my goodness, she was a friend of mine a year and a half ago. I kid you not. She goes, I can't continue the friendship. I'm blinded by the lights by you. Whoa.
How long did you know this person for?
6 months to 8 months. Something like that. But it's not about how long for me. It's about we were really connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of hurtful. Kind
I
of
don't
weird.
know if it was hurtful. I was at such a place even then. I'm just like,
You were blindsided.
you really think that about me?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Some people can't take it. It's
Yeah.
very weird. Some people are so fucking miserable and dark that somebody like you comes into their life and they're like a fucking vampire. You can't shine that light on them. They don't know how to deal with it.
They don't know how to deal with
They
it.
don't-
And then what happens? The cycle, as I just talked about, they try to just zap it on me. You know, it's like, oh, well, let's do the
It's
like
your
the
problem. You're
reflection
so
thing.
bright. Yeah.
No, but I'm just, you know what? It's like now I'm like Wonder Woman with the cuffs. It's just like,
Yeah.
okay. All right. No, and there's nothing to even really so-called defend. It's more like, I love my heart. I'm going to shine it brighter and brighter because I went through blood, sweat, and tears for this, which is, what is this? This meaning my spirit, my Amla connectedness to the world and for myself. I did this for me.
Yeah.
I didn't do this for anybody else, and I have nothing to prove. Zero to anybody. And people are going to think what they want to. Let them. Because guess what? What matters is what I think of me. And I'm not here to make a zillion friends. If you're my friend, great, wonderful. But you accept all of me because I also am not the person who turns the other direction just to keep the peace either. If I hear something and it's wrong, morally
say
wrong,
something.
I
Yeah.
will say something. Absolutely.
That's the vibe I get from you.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you lay down a lot.
No.
I'm
No.
the same way.
Yeah.
That's why we like each other.
That's why we like each other.
We don't fucking take no shit.
No way, Jose.
I've always been like that, and it almost has been like a fault and has gotten me in trouble before because there were some instances in my life where I probably should have let it go
Right.
or turned the other cheek.
Yep.
And I felt so convicted about it.
Yep.
Like, I'm not fucking letting it go, and I'm
Yeah.
going to fucking let everybody know how I feel.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? And the older I get, the more I understand, like, now I pick my battles.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Doing that other shit is only taking my energy.
Exactly.
It's only making
It's
me
zapping
tired.
you. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'll pick and choose. But if there's something I'm really invested in, like something that I really believe
Yes.
in, I'll fucking fight.
Yes.
But if it's just one of those everyday things where I'm like, getting mad about this is only going to bum me out and take away from me, I'm not fucking doing it because I don't have a lot at the end of the day to give away.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
And you
it's-
want to conserve your energy. Energy is everything. Albert Einstein. Energy can be transferred. It can never be broken. You need to conserve and save it, you know, like, so for something that if it really matters to you, like you said, absolutely, I agree 100%, you got to go for it and do your thing.
Yeah.
But if it's something where I feel like I'm questioning it, I will wait 3 days on it. I
Really?
won't wait a week because that's too long. I think I usually make decisions within 3 days.
And if it ain't a big deal no more, you know it wasn't
Exactly.
worth it. If you're still feeling, if you're still pissed off and you're still thinking about it, then it was worth it.
Absolutely. And you know, it's speaking from the heart. You can't fake it. That's another thing about me, and people know that. People know that about, and whether they say it or not, that's not my business. But I'm an empath too. There's a perk of losing vision. I could feel everybody's energy. You could be smiling at me. I know something's up with you because guess what? I've been there, done that. I know exactly what it is to be the lows of all lows and to crawl out and to go back up and then go back down again into the God knows where darkness of all darkness. So I know what pain is. You know it because you experience it. You don't know it because of the ego. You know it because you've been through the trenches of life.
Shit, you were just talking. I came up with a really good question, and you kept going, and you said better
sorry.
shit, and I forgot.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
So let me think. So when you speak, when you go out and you speak to these people, are you only speaking to other people with visual impairment, or are you speaking to just broad crowds of everybody?
Actually, I don't know any visual impaired people who come in. I don't see them. Well, you know, no pun intended. But no, none of them come. No.
So you're just it's just anybody.
Anybody, and it's just it's even more enlightening for me because one of my lines is confidence is never seen or heard; it is felt. And I've come to a place, and I'm humble about it, that even when I'm speaking, I really am just so much at ease and at peace with who I am. And if I could, and I always say this, if I could help one person out there, I've done my job.
Do you think you, at one point, you would like want to just concentrate on like say little kids that were blind, like going and talking to them to lift their spirits? Of course you would.
I probably, yes.
But you've never done anything.
No,
just
I haven't.
Exclusively,
I haven't gotten the opportunity yet.
I think that would be huge.
I was open.
That would
totally
be awesome
open
for you.
To that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really awesome too. And I've done like charity work for the blind, and there's Charter Oak. What's it called? It's sorry.
You ever work
Oak Hill.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, in Hartford, Connecticut.
You ever work with Besby?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to have a friend whose father worked for them for years. And then when I was doing my grad program,
yes,
there was a couple people in the voc rehab track. Mine was mental health, and there was other people that were in the voc rehab classes. And a lot of them were doing like their internships there at Besby, working with other, blind people.
Wow. Yeah, there's not very many people in my percentage background, the bracket of being like either the really young, like there's this woman I know, my cane trainer told me she was 19 or 20 at the time, has less vision than I did, but it's very rare that, I'm in a weird spot because I'm 44 and it's just a weird spot.
When did you start using your cane?
In air quotes, looking back, I was pretty much, I should have started using it at age 30. So I started using it when 2012, I was 39.
So 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So you were making do without it for all that time?
Yeah, and I just thought that it was my ego. I was point blank. I just wouldn't be targeted.
I don't need this fucking thing.
No, I don't need it. And also the fact that, like, I just want to be normal. What's normal?
No one's
I don't
normal. Neither of us are normal.
No, I know, right? But, like, I'd be, like, bumping into chairs. What's up with this girl? What's up with this lady? Especially, I don't drink, but I go to bars because I love music. I love live music. What is up with this lady? Like, what is she doing?
Just vibing and without a drink? Is there any certain reason you don't drink?
I just, even when, like 19, 20, 21, whatever, it just didn't faze me as something. I was like, okay, big deal. Like, what's the big deal? What's the whole thing about this?
It's just no allure for you.
No.
Okay.
No. Not that I haven't, like, I've had, in my
drink
I'd had kamikazes in college and stuff like that. But like that, out of all the things, I had a kamikaze, right?
I forget what is in a kamikaze. It's kind of like a scorpion bowl or some shit like that, right? That's like some straight up Chinese restaurant drink that I wouldn't even know.
I know.
Those are old school.
Old school.
You ever dabble with any other substances?
No, it just
smoke pot?
never appealed. No, isn't that weird? I'm in a town full of, I'm not going to name the town, but full of potheads.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
I don't know.
Never appealed to you? You probably didn't have a lot of friends that did that.
You want to hear this story? It's a 2-second story. I heard, read a lot. God help me. This is before the internet came. I heard that I read this. If you smoke a cigarette, you lose 3 seconds of your life per puff. And so I'm 12 and I had the cigarette so close to my mouth. I'm like, I want my 3 seconds of life.
I want my 3 seconds. It's funny. Like, of all the drugs I've done in my whole life, I've never once smoked a cigarette.
Really?
Yeah, my mother had 2 heart attacks when we were younger. She had one when I was 12 and one when I was 14, and she had double bypass surgery both times.
Wow.
Because she had like tar blockages in her.
Holy crow.
They take a vein from your leg. And put it up
I've
in
heard
your
of
heart.
that. Yes.
That she did that twice, and that was enough to like scare the shit out of me and my brother.
Yeah.
I did everything else under the sun, but like never smoked a cigarette. Just was really weirded out by it. You know what I mean? Like now at 40 years old, like I smoke a cigar maybe like. And when it's colder out, maybe like once a week or something like that, or like even in the summer. But like that's the nicotine and tobacco just never really did it for me.
Yeah.
But if I'm at like a wedding or if I'm like at a barbecue or something,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I love
Yeah.
smoking cigars, but like my mother was like 2 packs a day for a while, like lady when we were younger. And you know what she had the nerve to do?
What?
She told me and my brother that the heart attacks were brought on from stress by me and him.
Oh my God. Talk about added pressure,
Yeah.
poor thing.
She's so funny.
That's too funny.
It's funny. We don't speak that much because she's kind of like, I love my mother, but like we were saying, she's one of those people, she's never like got anything really good to say. She's kind of like a black cloud. Every time I call her, it's, oh my God, do you know who died? Do you know who has cancer?
No.
Da, 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 da. And like, so I kind of keep it short, high and by. I give her the information she needs and whatever. And then I talk to my dad and he's just out there. So we always vibe. But like the other day, my brother like set her up with her iPad.
Okay.
And I was talking to her on her house phone and I'm walking her through it, how to like text me.
Sure.
Like through iMessage on it. So boom, I get a text from her. I'm like, holy shit, this is a game changer. I start sending her pictures. And I was on the fucking phone with her for an hour and a half. I can't remember. I don't think I've ever talked to my mother for an hour and a half.
Was that was it a great, real awesome connection for you?
I loved it.
That is awesome.
Because I got off the phone and I wasn't like, damn, my mother's a downer. Like I was sending her pictures of the baby.
Absolutely.
I was sending her pictures of my dog, and then I could like explain every picture I sent. And like it just
there's the connection.
It went on and on. My brother sent me a screenshot of one of her texts last night. She's fucking using emojis already. I was like, how the fuck did she learn how to do that?
Oh my God, that's too funny. That's beautiful. That's those magical moments that you cherish.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's so important.
What
Yeah.
So you talk to me about like how'd your parents take it when you were diagnosed?
Oh, that's a really good question. They felt very responsible because it's genetic. And so...
Did anybody else in your family have this happen to them before?
That's a good question. So there's 2 parts to this. So we don't know anybody in my family who has had it. Genetically, I'm going to go into a little bit of bio a little bit. I had 25% chance of getting it. Mm-hmm. And I got it. So I got the recessive gene. My parents were both carriers of this.
Okay.
And if I ever have kids, which I don't, but if I ever had kids, it's like 2% chance that they would get it. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I probably wouldn't even do that because down the road, it's still going to be
handed down.
Kids of kids of kids. Yeah. I wouldn't even want to deal with that. Mm-hmm. No. But, yeah, my parents were really, it was very tough for them to deal with this whole thing, like it was a big cloud over their heads. And then, the woman, I'm only 16 at the time, and like, can she go to college, regular college, and go and study and be somebody out there? And, how long does this process take? And it's just hard to vibe out. Like, even for them, they were like, I think 40s when they found out. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, the thing is, like, even at that age, like, okay, she's only 16 years old. Like, the diagnosis is 45 to 60. But what's going to happen to her life? Like, how is she going to deal with this? And I was mama's girl a little bit. I just really I clung to my mom all the time because I really didn't have many friends even before my diagnosis. I just didn't. And so
You grew up in the area?
Oh, I'm sorry?
You grew up in the area?
Yes.
In Canton?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. And so it was a cool, I'm glad about the education was really good. But I just really always was the awkward, weird child. I just was, the glasses and remember Sally Jesse Raphael?
Yeah.
I used to have those red glasses.
Love
and
it.
Yeah, big, huge mama ones, and like I had chunky rope, thick like braids in my hair, and I finally got a haircut. Like I think I was 15, and then I got it all layered. And even the guys were like, "Who the heck is this girl?" Like they're like looking my way, and I'm like, "Who are you looking at?" Like like, it was just so funny. It was funny, but yeah. So I know I went off on a little thing, but.
Go off.
But yeah, my parents are great. They really, of course, they love me and they would do anything for me and they wanted the best for me. But in the end, it's about me having to go through this and nobody can can, I always say this, nobody can drink water for you.
No.
You can't quench your thirst. You got to do it for yourself. And that takes time. It takes practice. It takes patience. Big word.
Totally.
Patience, look, it's going to take me whatever amount of time it takes me to figure this out, but I'll get through. I'll get through. So, yeah.
Did you go to school? Or
yeah,
college?
I went to Canton High, and then I did go to UConn, graduated, and the whole thing. I was a psychology major. Surprise, surprise. The brain is fascinating for me. And I still use it. Like, well, how are you using it? I'm like, it is total therapy. Like, everything I've been through. My 20s, I had, this is a little synopsis. 20s, I had cataract surgery in my right eye, age 25. Age 27, I had cataract in my left eye. I literally woke up seeing blobs, which the doctors never told me this is a part of. It's like a sneeze to the cold. It's like it's a symptom.
Side effect
of blindness. I had no idea. So I'm waking up seeing blobs. Holy crap. So I was in corporate America doing human resources. I wanted to be a recruiter, working towards up the ladder. And then I wake up seeing blobs. And that was especially for the right eye. For the left eye, I knew because I knew what the right eye went through. So that was age 25, 27, my left eye. And then my 30s, I had 4 depressions. One of them lasted 2 years. It was like basically what happened was you had to put Amla back together again like Humpty Dumpty. I died physically. I talk about this all the time. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I died. All parts of me died. And it was like a snowball effect. I'd fix one part, something else falls
Something
apart.
else will go.
And it's kind of like an old car. Like
you just
fix
fixed this,
one, you're
that
like,
one.
wait a second, what's going on?
Yep.
So
That's how I feel about my body nowadays.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm gonna just go like what changed for me. I think that's a really good question. After all of this, what helped me through was faith. Was real, like just nothing, no religion business, so to speak. It's just more like. I will never forget this. I was watching the Titanic, and Leo dies at the end, of course, and I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I was on my hands and knees, and that was my breaking point moment. And I said, God, I don't know what else you want me to do. And I just was sobbing my eyes out. I don't know what else you want from me. I said, I just want to feel again. And that was after the 2 years of depression. And sure enough, for the first time, the next day, I felt pain throughout my entire body. So I wanted to feel again. Does it mean it's going to be content? No, but I felt my body again. Yeah.
That's the perfect place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that faith piece, like during that two-year depression, I'm not kidding you, whatever reason, it was like something was telling me, an inner voice was saying, it's going to be a good day. And for 2 years, I would say that every day. Yeah.
That's powerful.
I just looking back, I'm just like, what? How did and I was 20 pounds. I was very heavy. All that stuff. I ate ice cream all day long. Chocolate was my friend. All that stuff. And because I didn't choose drugs or anything like that. That was my little...
Same thing.
Yeah.
Those are drugs.
It's the same thing.
When
yeah.
when you're dealing with depression, anything that makes you feel better is a drug.
Absolutely. You're right on. I'm learning from you. Absolutely.
And a lot of people, that's their go-to.
Yeah, that's my go-to.
A lot of people don't like, if we're talking about general population.
Sure.
If it's not alcohol, they're eating their feelings away. I know when I'm feeling like shit, that's what I'm doing. And I did that for a long time back in the day, and I had to catch myself.
Yeah.
And
then when you get older, as you know, it's like, oh, what am I doing?
Harder to lose it.
I know. But, yoga's, the healing process for me was yoga.
I love yoga.
I started cane training 2012, 2013, January, February. I started yoga consistently, and I do it like 5 times a week at a center. I'm very consistent. That's the only thing that keeps me going. And in the sense of like on all aspects, the spiritual side, the mental, the emotional, everything. It's because, the one thing we always talk about, especially at the end of class, is surrender. Whatever's happening, just surrender it. It's not giving up. You're just surrendering it to just giving it to universe, and you don't need it anymore.
Yep.
You don't even need to know what it is. Just need to know it's energy that you don't need it anymore. Yeah.
What the hell do they always say at the end?
Yeah.
They're like, bow to yourself, your practice,
Yep.
and to the rest of the world.
And I think it's
Namaste.
I think yoga is something that it's a heart thing. It's nothing like, I'm going to just say this because I am Indian, but people use the word namaste like loosely as well too. And I'm like,
They don't know what it means.
I don't really think that you know what you even, it's like sometimes I can't grasp my head, but it's not my job again. It's not my job to figure out what their intentions are or anything like that. All I know is that I do the yoga. My whole being is from the heart, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do restorative.
Oh, that's fun.
Because it's just like, it makes my back feel better.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I have to like be careful because like, I have to like drink coffee or something before I go because I've been known to fall asleep.
You have to drink coffee before.
I got to make sure I have like some sort of caffeine because I go to West Hartford Yoga and there's this one lady, I forget her name, but she's got the most beautiful, soothing voice, and like
that's the trick.
Put you in the certain positions and like you're feeling good.
Yep.
And she's just like soothing you through it, and before I know it, I do one of these. I do like the snort, like I'm about to start snoring, and I like wake up and I look and people are like looking at me and I'm like, oh God. So yeah. And I used to go there like right after like a work day. So like I'm shot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I can't do any like power yoga or like I've done yin a couple times.
Okay.
It's just like a little bit above restorative, but I love it. It sets me straight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's no judgment on what type of yoga you do. It's what yoga is meditation in motion.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It has nothing to do with how power and how strong and let's get into a pretzel thing. No, it's about
it's like the physical embodiment of mindfulness.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Absolutely. Yep.
It took me a long time to get to that point, and it took like a lot of schooling and like education to really figure out what that was.
And diamonds don't shine overnight.
No.
Right? So we're both some shiny diamonds.
Yeah.
Diamond talking to another diamond. Let me tell you.
So, let me, what do you do? Like, what's your day to day? What are your hobbies? What do you do? What do you like to do? Okay,
so I kind of basically touched upon it, but I am writing a book. So I have a writing coach every week now, and I want to get this done this week. I wish. So wait, that's wishful thinking. But no, by the end of this year, I really would like to get the bulk of it done. I also am a caretaker of my elderly family, my parents. And lately it's been ups and downs and all around. It's a lot of hats to wear. But I just feel so empowered because I could do it. You know, I live in a town where there's no real public transportation, and I get to the grocery store, I get my things done from my family, and I take care of my father, I take care of my mother. I'm taking care of myself of, what my needs are because I can't get to and from places easily. And then, hobby-wise, I love writing. I love music. Music is like, it's for your soul. It's like music for the soul. It's like if you're feeling anything, just pop on any kind of music, and I'm just gonna I forgot about what was I sad about or whatever.
I would think a person that's losing a bit of one sense
yes.
would appreciate music a little bit more. Do you believe in that? Or it might even be like a proven thing that when somebody loses one sense, the others kind of get heightened.
Absolutely. And I think that we touched upon it a little bit. I am an empath, and that is a huge perk. Like, I could feel other people's, it could be overwhelming at times, but that's when you set healthy boundaries. If it doesn't work for you, I don't go there, right? It's a choice where you're going to go. No one's forcing you to go somewhere. But as far as, the heightened thing, I think it's just more of it's like using a muscle. If you don't use your core muscles in yoga or whatever you're doing at the gym, it's gonna show. You're not strengthening, right? So I'm using another sense, my other muscles, my other sense as muscles, because I'm using them more.
Yeah.
So that just automatically makes sense. My hearing, my smell, my sense of taste, everything is just, and it's also, I know this for a fact, it's also the fact of my spiritual side. I just love embracing each and every moment. Like Thich Nhat
It's an
Hanh.
appreciation.
Yes. Yes. It's beautiful. And
It's one of those things like you don't know what you got till it's gone. You know?
you don't. And like, you know, like in any meditation, like Thich Nhat Hanh was talking about, let's take the glass of water and like watch it coming to your. How many people do that? Like let's take this can of whatever I have, seltzer, and like watch it come to my lips, and then let's embrace the rim of this can. Like it's a beautiful process, and to feel the bubbles, you know, dissipate on the palate of your tongue. You know, it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. And that's how I see life. That's how I embrace life. I love the fresh rain in the summer.
A total
I love the
appreciation
smell,
for everything.
the birds chirping. Although I haven't heard this. I was just talking about this to my friend yesterday. You know those whistling birds? They're like, when I was a kid, they were all whistling birds. Not anymore.
I wish I knew which one you were talking about,
it's
because
like high pitch to a low pitch. It goes, I can't even do it.
please do it. Please do it.
It goes, woo, like that's horrible. That sounds like an owl. No,
Like a
that's
like
not
a
an owl.
dove.
Was it?
It sounded like a dove.
I don't know about that. Like it's like a high to a low, and it's a beautiful. I heard it once this summer, and I'm like, where's that
Where'd
bird?
they all go? Yeah, some sort of bird that have moved out of the Northeast. It's not part anymore.
I know. It's
That's funny.
But yeah, the senses are definitely high. And then music, I was talking to my cane trainer. This is important. He goes, I'm asking you, I know you're going blind, but I'm asking you, would you rather be deaf or blind? And I'm like, what kind of question is that? He's like, no, please answer the question. There's a reason for this. I said, okay. I guess blindness, because I'm in it, you know? He goes, I would choose blindness too. I'm like, you're just saying that. You're my teacher. He goes, no, because think about it. Blindness at best is 180 degrees, right? Hearing at best is 360.
Yeah.
Rather have the hearing.
From
That's
every
what
way.
he said.
Yep.
What do you think?
Would I rather be
Blind or deaf?
Blind or deaf?
Yeah.
Shit. That's a rough one to ask somebody like me that like has both. And
I know, but like, let's
if I
just
had,
say.
so let's go through the list of things that I would miss if I
That would be awesome. Yeah.
So if I were blind,
Yeah.
I wouldn't I wouldn't get to see the things that everybody else is like, oh, that looks so cool, like, and I'd like be missing out on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to see, I was going to say women, my fiance, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to see like my lover,
Yep.
my family.
Sure.
I wouldn't be able to see food that I eat. I wouldn't be able to, I would be afraid of like running into shit or getting hurt because I
Yes.
couldn't find my way.
Absolutely.
I'd miss like colors and shit. I'd miss art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if I was deaf, I would probably, I definitely wouldn't be able to listen to music, and I'd be pissed off about that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to hear like other people's voices. However, some people I don't want to hear their voices. So, like, that'd be a good part of it. Either disability, I wouldn't be able to do the job that I do. I'll tell you. You wouldn't be able to hear directions or like to learn how to do things. Like you'd be able to, do you want to watch TV or do you want to listen to TV? It's like one or the other.
I know.
I probably would give up my hearing.
Probably
Probably give up my hearing, because then I could still communicate and read lips.
Yeah.
And like, write stuff down. If I couldn't,
Wait, so you would wait. I'm sorry, I'm confused.
I would give up my hearing.
You would give up your hearing.
I'd rather
Okay.
be deaf, because I don't know. I think it would be easier to deal with.
Interesting. The only thing with deafness is because honestly, I know that, and I've had past life regression, and I have lucid dreaming as well. I know I've been deaf and blind. I was never Helen Keller, but I know I've been deaf and blind. And the biggest thing for me, because I've dealt with both, and I've had dreams about it in this lifetime about that, because I'm so connected, is the fact that I need to be understood. And I think with deafness, because they can't even understand what you're saying,
Can't get it out.
you can't. They also think that you're mentally challenged as well, and you're dumb. And it's just like, I don't know what I don't know what I would do. The biggest thing, and even to this day, people, my good friends, even say this, like, "Why are you so passionate?" I'm like, because I'm not understood, and it means the world to me if you actually are not looking at your phone and actually hearing me, not listening. I hate with that. That's a pet peeve of mine.
Big difference.
I'm listening to you. Listening is different than hearing you.
Yep.
You're listening to music. Are you hearing the music? You can. That's a deeper word, but you're pretty much listening to the TV or whatever. But you're hearing
And you understanding
your friend talk
it.
to you.
Are you feeling it?
Yes. Yes. That means the world to me. And if you can't do that, I get passionate about it. I do. I do. It frustrates me that when people don't, I'm not understood.
It's hard. You know, I'm not defending anybody that will be able to see for the rest of their life. I just feel like people they're so closed off and selfish that they don't really, like, especially today, in today's world, like, this goes for anybody with a disability. They're kind of just like put to the side, like we were talking about before. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? And like, I work with people with disabilities, whether it's drug addiction or not.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
like some of them have other debilitating things going on, and you know, and they talk to me all the time about like how frustrating it is that they can't get through to certain people about certain topics because they're just not like taken seriously. Like a person that's fully functional.
Absolutely. And I think it's also the fact that they really don't. I mean, the people who do know me, they're like, you're like one of this. I'm just gonna say it. People have told me, they're like, you're like one of the smartest girls I've ever met in my life, and it's because it's the work. I mean, there's nothing necessarily to prove. But I want to do it for me in the sense of like, I know the gifts about that come from the blindness, and I'm going to use those gifts, and I'm going to teach people. That's what I'm going to concentrate on, not what I don't have. It's what I do have, and my brain is not going away unless I have an accident, God forbid. But like, my brain's not going away, and my intelligence will never go away.
You don't need to
that's
see to
beautiful.
be intelligent.
Absolutely. You just need some ears. You just need some ears and maybe some eyes when I do finish this book, and you could read it. And then actually, after I finish the physical writing of the book, I'm going to maybe have you help me with recording an audiobook and me being the narrator.
I would love
That's
to
what I
do
would
that.
love to do for blind people.
That would be awesome.
That's the next project after this is done.
That's really funny you say that, because now that I think that, like, that's probably the biggest market for audiobooks.
Yep.
People that can't fucking
Absolutely.
see to read. They can read, but they can't see the fucking paper.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's huge. Like,
And what better way than the author reading it for them?
yeah. I'm sure
There you go.
you get a deal and somebody puts your book out, they handle all that. I have a friend.
Yes.
Do you know Chris Grasso?
Yes, I do. I do know him. I haven't seen him in years.
Everything Mind and
The spiritualist,
Indie Spiritualist.
Yes.
Yeah. So he has 3 books out now, and he was telling me about the process, because they do make him read it, or they make somebody read it.
Okay.
And then they record it for like the ebooks and like the Amazon and the things that like read it to you and stuff like that. So I'm sure like any good publishing house that were to take it over
Yeah.
and do it for you, they definitely would, because that's like half the market now.
Absolutely.
Like for every book that someone's buying, there's definitely like a digital version and an audio
Yep.
version of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just so also blessed with my writing coach is an editor anyway, so it might be a slower process, but we're like every chapter that's finished, it's finished. So it's not like, oh,
that's
well,
good. You don't got to fuck
yeah.
around with it once it's done, chapter by chapter. It's not like you got to go edit the whole book.
Exactly. Yeah. She's really good at it, and she's very. We gel very well because she's very intuitive herself. She's like, I'm always learning from you, and write that down what you just said. And I'm like, yeah, it's already written. It's already written. We'll put it somewhere, but I'm always having these thoughts. It's always 3 a.m, like the creative side that comes up, and just.
You got a title yet?
I do. I have a couple, but I'm not really sure about that. It sounds cliche. One of them was, I'll just say, I don't know. I'm still kind of like, does it sound cliche? To see or not to see, because I am seeing and not seeing in this lifetime. Mm-hmm. That sounds
like
a little
that.
cliche, though.
What's the other one?
The publisher said. The other one was coloring outside the lines, but then if you read that doesn't really say anything about a blind person, but I've always colored outside the lines. That's actually one of my stories, one of my chapters. It's coloring outside the lines.
I like they're both good, but I like to see or not to see.
Yeah, I do too. That came to me in a meditation.
That would be cool.
Come to me in a meditation.
I'd buy that book.
Yeah. So.
What the hell was I going to ask you? How do you feel about the term? I know it's big, and like people are doing away with it.
Yeah.
But the term handicapped. It's like something you don't hear anymore. It's kind of being phased out. It's like people say disability now.
I don't know, because I hear it all the time. They're like, "Do you mind if I call it handicapped?" Like, because you're talking to the person so-called with one. It's again the tomato. Call it what you want. At first, it did bother me. I think when I started cane training, I'm like, it's not a handicap. I'm not. Actually, my family would call it a handicap. Like, I'm not handicapped. I'm very capable.
Yeah.
But it's just
They changed like the little guy on like the parking pass thing. They changed him to look a little bit more like
lively on this side. I have that.
Fast and mobile. He's like a little bit more like
he's slanted. He's like
he looks like he's
on a
shooting
joyride
through.
or something.
Yeah,
on this.
He looks like he's going faster.
Exactly.
Like they did.
But it's interesting. I mean, this is a true story. I was at ShopRite, and I was in the handicap parking lot. I'm walking around. It's a little plaza, right? So I'm in the handicap, literally in the parking spot. Some lady with her van, or minivan, reversing. She almost ran over my toe. I'm like, I'm in the handicap. Like, how much more safer can I be? I'm not. I don't want to be in the middle.
Yeah, I'm here for a reason.
Yes.
Not for you to run my fucking toe over.
And you know how big those handicap parking spaces are.
They make them more buffered so you don't have to deal with that shit.
Yes, and then talking about when to speak up and when not to speak up. That was my time. I had to tell her something. I knock on her door. And this is like Farmington Valley, so they're like, oh, But anyway, I don't care. I knocked on their door and I said, "Did you know that you almost rolled over my toe? You know I don't see. Do you see my cane?" She looks at me, rolls her eyes, and she drove away. But I at least spoke.
At least you fucking told her.
Yeah.
Maybe next time she'll think.
Absolutely.
Dumbass.
Absolutely.
I had a friend who was a kid that I went to when I was in community college doing my associate's degree when I first went back to school.
Okay.
I had a friend, Dan, rest his soul. He was one of the liveliest people I've ever met. He was paralyzed from the legs down.
Oh, wow.
From the waist down. And he had a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he was a character. He was so funny. And he would tell me about like how he would catch people, like regular people
Yeah.
in like the handicap bathrooms and stalls,
Oh,
and how he would like freak out on them and they wouldn't know what to do. And he told me about how he started.
Oh my God.
And he's in a wheelchair, and he told me about how one
Right.
time this guy was in the handicap stall, and he was like, "Hey, buddy, somebody in a fucking wheelchair out here actually needs to use it." And the guy came out, gave him like an attitude. He started like punching the guy, and from his wheelchair, he was that was the type of person he was. He did not give a shit. He stood up for like all,
Wow.
and he was big in the disabled community. He would go and talk to like kids about being disabled and stuff.
Sure.
He was hilarious, and he ended up getting a spinal infection. He ultimately passed away, but he was hilarious, and I just remember him beating. He didn't even know he had a disability.
Yeah.
He just knew how to be him.
Yep.
And he didn't give a fuck what anybody else thought, and he like told people exactly what he thought.
Yep.
Even if it got him in trouble at some point. Like he never like thought less than. He never thought of himself as second. You
Yep.
know what I mean? And I remember loving him from the day I met him, just because he was so funny. He had a smile on all the time. Like you're in a wheelchair. Like you can't even move the bottom half of your body, and you're rolling into class making people laugh. Like I loved him so much.
Actually, my eyes are real wide open when I don't see ramps it makes me so mad.
Yeah.
People can't go to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm like, what is wrong with this? This is just awful.
I don't really know like zoning laws and stuff like that, but I know like it's getting better.
It's getting better, but not enough. It really is. I feel so badly for people who can't even just go out.
I forgot who told me this story. I think my friend Jake.
Okay.
But there was this guy, I think it's either Manhattan or Brooklyn. It's this old Jewish man.
Okay.
So we're going around all these restaurants. We went to a cigar store, and on all these storefronts there was like a little white, almost like a buzzer.
Okay.
And I was like, what the fuck are all these things? And they were like, it was like a historical area.
Okay.
So they couldn't put a ramp. But like this guy, they called him, I forget his name, but they called him Hell on Wheels, because he sued over 260 like local restaurants, shops, and all because they didn't have like their
zone,
their what do you call it, their ramps in place. So since it was a historical area, so they all had to put in these like buzzers.
Okay.
And like they had a way to like get him in, or like they would bring him through the back or something. And like it was, but there was he sued 260 places. The dude was out of
That's
he was
awesome.
going for it.
For it.
They called him Hell on Wheels.
Yeah, man. Like he's doing his own advocacy, and I think it's important to, find community and people who have your back, and like he's amazing for 260. You said 200.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's not a young dude either. He's like getting up there, and like you got to figure if you're pushing that hard and you believe, and you want shit to change, and you're doing all that work,
you're gonna do it. Yeah, it's so true. Like if people turn the other way. I went to the Carroll Center. It's basically a center in Boston where you learn how to be independent without seeing anything. In the sense, I sewed a button in the dark, and I don't eat eggs, but we had to cook in the dark and figure out when, the butter was melting for the eggs and all sorts of things. It was very interesting, but like something happened. I won't go into it, but my friend Keith, who's my friend to this day, totally two different people. I'm like, no, we need to fight. We need to say something. And he's just like, why are you wasting all your energy on this? I'm like, if I don't speak up, who will? You're not.
Yeah.
Like there you go. Like it's not one size fits all for people, but the people who do it will, and they have that motivation and that will and drive. I commend this man.
And that's how
awesome.
you get things changed, and that's how you get the laws
exactly.
changed,
That's how things change.
Somebody made a stink for like the first wheelchair, bound person that couldn't get into a door. If they never fucking said anything, nothing would have gotten done.
Absolutely.
And
I remember being at a Dunkin' Donuts myself, and like this kid, glasses, and I feel, you just feel so badly because his speech was impaired as well, and it's an automatic wheelchair. All he kept on doing was bumping into the door because whatever. The Dunkin' Donuts is empty, completely empty, and I'm like, I I didn't have Sophia, which is the name of my cane. I take her everywhere. So like, I just was like, all right, I could do this. Who cares? Just go. And so I opened the door, and just a smile, that precious smile on his face, just for opening the door. This poor kid is like at least 5 to 10 times. Talking about patience, you can't even get into a door. Nobody's even helping to open it. And what's wrong?
You ever come across, there's two kinds of people with disabilities.
Yes.
There's one kind of the people that like you can help and they're like, thank you.
Yeah.
But did you ever run up across those really like proud, like ostensible,
Yes.
like, I don't need your help.
Yep.
I when I was younger, I had to deal with that a couple times. I was really thrown off because like as a person without a disability, a physical disability, and you go and help someone, you think you're doing the right thing.
Yes, absolutely.
But every once in a while, you'll get somebody that is done with everybody that doesn't have a disability. They fucking hate you because they've been treated that way their whole life. And I remember I tried to open up a door for this lady.
Sure.
And she was very mobile. She had one of those like crazy ass like athletic wheelchairs, almost like the ones that you see the guys playing like basketball in.
Oh, okay.
Like sick one, awesome, right? She did not want my help. She did not want my help, and she was struggling. And I was just like, I'm just trying to open the door.
I know.
She's like, I can do it myself, and I was like, okay, there you go.
There you go.
And I see people all the time. Like I see these guys that like pull up next to their car door, open it a certain way, scoot their butt onto the seat, take the fucking thing apart and put it in the other seat, and then get in and drive away.
Yep.
And it's like, holy shit. Do you know how hard that is?
I know.
And they're just doing it like
they're
nothing.
just doing like it's nothing. I know, because it's again that you have no choice. It's like
You
the
have
will
to.
survive and thrive.
It's either
That's
that
the
or lay
thing,
it down.
right?
Yeah.
It's about you have every being on this planet has the right to live, and what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with the cards that you've been served? You know, that you've been dealt. I talk about that all the time, and it's amazing what you can do. And when you say that you can't, you won't.
No.
When you say you can, you will. You will absolutely do it.
They put themselves in a hole and they put themselves down and like, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it.
Yep.
They turn into a defeatist, and before you know it, like, they're not doing it because they've talked themselves out of it.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's also society. I've been there, done that. There are so many years, I'm not kidding you, decades. I can't do it. Even the book, even this writing business, people read my chapter, they're like, I'm like, it sucks. What are you talking about? You know, like, it's just, what's wrong with me? You know, like, we all have that, but it's just like, don't listen to that. Don't listen to the other inner critic. Listen to the voice that's saying you could do this. This is your purpose. This is your purpose in life. Fulfill it. Do it. Teach it. Be it. You've got this. You've got this. Anytime I'm in yoga and I'm in crescent, which I broke my ankle 10 years ago and I have 9 pins in my foot and blah, blah, blah. And it's my left ankle. And we're doing crescent. So you're on your tiptoes in your left leg, and then you're holding your hands up like warrior thing. And I'm like, I could do this. I'm shaking my whole thing is shaking, but I'm like, I'm going to do this. If I fall, I fall.
Whatever.
It's okay.
Get back up.
Yeah, exactly. But I always think of that. It's just like, just the minute that you think you can't, you won't. I start shaking more, right? You know, so it's just, it's intention, as Wayne Dyer says. Everything is a thought. And your thoughts manifest into sentences, which manifest into life, reality. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Never thought about it like that.
That's Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer is awesome. Google him. He's amazing. He died, I believe, 3 years ago, something like that. I think he had cancer. Wayne Dyer, D-Y-E-R, Wayne. Amazing. I actually quote him in my book. Not what I just said, but another. Yeah, he was a fascinating man.
How many pages you shooting for?
It's not about pages. It's about when I'm done.
Getting it all out.
Yeah, but my writing coach, maybe I need one of those too. Yeah, my writing coach wants me to like 3,000 words per chapter.
Okay.
So it's pretty much, they're juicy chapters.
Yeah, that's a good amount.
That's a good amount. I mean, like, even though I'm already eliminating some of my stories because it's already in one of my chapters. And that's the thing you got to catch. The beginning is a lot easier because you have so much to write. But then,
You
like, the
get to the
middle
end
and the
and
end,
you're
am
like,
I repeating?
Yeah.
Is this like, are people bored?
Yep.
What's going on? Yeah.
Did I beat it to death?
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Did I vent to death? Like, I noticed I'm very emotional. Like, you already did that. Stop, you know? So, yeah.
I commend you, man. Writing a book is, I want to, but like it's a tedious and important, and like there's one way to do it correctly, and you got to know what you're doing. And
well, no, I think it's a matter of, it's like a piece of artwork, right?
Oh, totally.
You have
It's your own
canvas, it's your own, but at the same token, one stroke at a time, one brush stroke at a time, and that's when you know you're on the path. Like, if I'm thinking of, like, that's what delayed me a lot of years. Like, I'm just talking like 5-6 years of delaying, was not only being caretaker of my family, but just like, oh, it's a book. Now I don't think of it that way. You know, I think of it as they're little stories. And it's so much more easy for me to like comprehend and grasp that and actually do it versus being like, here's a book.
Yeah.
It still scares me. But if I think of it, just little stories that are tying together, there you go.
That makes it
more,
more palatable.
Absolutely, more manageable. And the fact that this was on the Today Show, I'm not kidding you. This is important because this is very connected. This quick story. This lady wanted to lose weight. She decided, I am going to do a push-up for a minute every day for 30 days. She lost 7 pounds. Why? Because she was committed to the minute of a push-up.
She was doing something.
She did it. She accomplished that minute. How many times I'm going to write for 5 hours? I wrote for maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like
that's a
don't
lot.
do that. Just don't yourself up.
You're
don't
setting
set
the bar
yourself-
too high.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's like anything else. You move up. You do 10 push-ups today.
Yes.
You do 10 push-ups all week. Next week, you do 11.
Yes.
Then 12. You're going to get better.
You are going to get better.
You know, if you just chip away at it.
Absolutely. And the other way around, too. Quit smoking. All right, I had 10 cigarettes today. I'm doing 10. I'm doing 9 tomorrow. I'm doing 8. Like the other way around, too, you know? And it's not as overwhelming. I'm the queen of anxiety. Overwhelming. Everything is like, oh, you know. It doesn't have to be. It's an attitude. It's an intention. It's a purpose. If I think of it as, this is my purpose and this is what I'm going to fulfill for today, that is everything. That is everything. And day by day, hour by hour, and illness with the emergency rooms that I've been through, and with my father last week was in the emergency, everything. My mom has foot issues. I could do this.
Yep.
I could still do this, you know? Like, even though I was all over the place, juggling all this stuff away, love conquers all. And you know that if you know you love... Ooh.
Oh, you can leave it. It's all right.
Oh, well.
You got interrupted by the microphone.
I know. Is that spirit talking to me?
I was going to say, yeah. Somebody didn't like love conquers all.
Love conquers all. Yeah. So anyway, but it's a beautiful, from misery, I was miserable, and now I'm as happy as I can be, and I just am so thrilled. I'm just so humbled to be who I am and be all of me, whether somebody's looking at me or not.
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
Maybe
Who's
who
looking?
gives a crap, right? I have no, you know, the thing is like, oh, well, what do you want to see? The rest of the world. It's like the blink of my best trip that I've gone on. Was I went to Hawaii for my 40th, and I went on a yoga retreat, surprise, and I was in Maui, and it was beautiful, and it was like awesome. It was the best trip ever, and but at the blink of an eye, it's like, I don't remember. I mean, I remember you have pictures and stuff like that because I can still see, but it's like, life is a process, and it doesn't matter about what you see. It's about experiencing the moment. And if that moment is magical, you're rich at heart. And there you go.
I'm going to ask you one last question.
Sure.
And because I know you got to get out of here.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So, how do you deal with the fear?
how do I deal with the fear?
Like you have a progressive illness that
Yes.
you know is like kind of like closing in.
Yes.
And one day you're not going to be able to see
Yes,
anything.
that's a really good question.
How do you deal with that and not let yourself get overwhelmed by that fact?
There's two things I want to say about that. I have my friend Keith. I mentioned him before. He practices being in the dark. He's like me. He's like 49 or something like that. And same thing. He has vision, but he doesn't have vision. And he practices being in the dark for an hour or 2 hours. That's not me. I want to see green until I can't see green anymore. You know,
take it all in while you got it.
Yeah, and it. But my point is, it's not like he's better, I'm better. No, it's he had a choice. He wants to practice being blind. I don't. I don't. You can never prepare. I always talk about this. You can never prepare for old age.
No.
Can you? Like, am I going to just start?
We are now.
Limping now.
Yeah.
Because I'm preparing for old age. That's just my take on it. But the fear, it's again living one moment at a time and one step, one breath at a time. It makes it more manageable, doable. You can do this. I can do this. I can be anything I want to be. So what? I don't have the vision, but I have the insight. By not having sight, I have insight, and that is what I'm going to bring it on to the people of this planet. That's how I know I found my purpose and I found the loving goddess that I am today because I have done the work.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much for having me as a guest.
Dude, you're the best.
Awesome.
You want to let anybody? You got anything coming up? You got anything you want to like plug, or do you got like some event or anything you want to tell anybody about?
There's something's going on. August 17th, I'm going to be in Newington. You can contact me. Actually, let's go backwards a little bit. It's a very hard name to pronounce. I'm going to be at a temple. It's Newington. It's called Vallabdam. But you could always contact me at Amla Inspires, AMLA Inspires, INSPIRES.com. Or the Facebook page, always contact me there. Amla Inspires again. And I have all of the listings over there on those pages, and it's just so much easier to reach me that way to see what's going on. But and if any of you teachers out there, you know, I love going to schools and talking to the kids that way, or senior centers, or like what you said, I would love to even talk to other blind kids or even deaf people. There's a will, there's a way. They'll be able to understand me. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So. I really appreciate being your guest today, and
I appreciate you coming.
It was so cool talking to you.
I appreciate you being here. This is great.
On.
All right, my dear. It was good to see you. I'm sure I'll see you in the very future. The very future. the very close
near future.
Ladies and gentlemen, Amla Mehta.
Thank you very much.